There it goes.
Yeah. If at any point we're too quiet, I've got ways of boosting it. We'll let the audience know, or they'll let us know. I'll have to go find it.
I guess we're always from Texas.
Well, yeah, that's always where I'm hosting it from. So you're just coming in remotely, but not today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have the chat will be here, and I guess here too. So I've got two places for it. Actually, I can bring this stuff over here since I don't need the Discord. So actually, you can see this is where my problem come in. Sometimes you'll notice that the Discord video kind of just freezes up over here, and that's because the Discord video is on this monitor.
Oh.
And anytime I need to do anything on this monitor, which is also usually the music playing in the background, if the Discord video is not on top, it temporarily freezes over here. Yeah. Hey, Fischoso's here too. He says we're finally on. I don't know why it's popping up here and not here. Whatever. I can still see it. Yeah, we're a little late, just a tad bit. Welcome to the Vomitorium, everyone. Today we're in person, so as always, I'm your host Metal, and joining me is my co-host Marsupial Gamer. How you doing?
Good.
I hope you guys can hear
actually
fine.
touch you. Wow.
You can, yes. So of us pretending to touch through an imaginary wall or anything like that. Yeah. How was your trip so far?
Good. A lot of driving. I mean, good weather.
Good weather.
Just a little bit of rain here and there, but not too bad. Can you hear it?
Yeah, we should be fine. I'm just boosting it a little bit just in case.
I'll speak up.
Yeah, well, I can also use your phone here. Just pull this a little closer between us. It should be set to cardioid by default. I just like it on that setting, so it should be able to pick up both of us. Cool. I did do a show not like earlier this year when you couldn't make it. My brother hopped on, and he was sitting like right in that same position, so it should be fine.
Phone down.
Yeah.
So I'm driving from Birmingham, Alabama to Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, it's quite a drive.
I don't think I'm halfway there.
It was close. Pretty close.
I guess it ended up being 9 or 10 hours. With stops and everything.
DFW is approximately halfway across the nation if you were going from coast to coast.
Yeah,
so you're about there. Oh, also.
I think it'll be another 15 hours.
Pop.
So, sure.
No. I usually have one on the show, so why not?
Yeah.
Once at the end, always have those little plasticky glue bits on there.
So I don't know if I'm going to make it there by tomorrow, but if not, I'll take one more day off and get there on Monday. So.
Yeah. There's some nice rest stops in New Mexico if you have to stop sometime in there. So that's always an option. Yeah. See, Fischosa says, I'm working on writing a digital short stories for your subscribers. All right, well, that's good. You get something out there. Is it?
Oh, cool.
That's where you got to start. You got to start by getting something out. But I guess since we're already late, we might as well just start rolling into things. I do have some stories pulled up, as always. The first one is we got the reveal for Mortal Kombat 1, which I think is a really dumb name. They're pulling the same shit that everybody's been pulling for a while. Yeah. It's the 12th entry of the game, but they're calling it number 1 for some reason. I don't know.
Well, apparently, so I watched Hack the Movies review of the trailer. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know any of the lore, but now I do.
It does seem like they're trying to pull off the success of the movie that just happened, and that's kind of like almost like a soft reboot of everything.
Yeah, so I guess Liu Kang became a god and then went back in time.
Yeah.
So he's sort of like changing the timeline, but sort of a reboot, but not exactly. Like he's just going back and changing things, I guess. So.
Yeah, kind of like a soft reset.
Yeah. So now I get it. Now I get why they're calling it Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, it's just really confusing because it's number 12. Mm-hmm. And it's not the first time they've done something like this. At least they put the 1 at the beginning this time.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 9, I think, was literally just called Mortal Kombat. And that kind of confused and pissed a lot of people off. So,
But that was like a legit remake, right, of the first one?
sort
Supposed
of.
to be?
It was also almost like a soft reboot
Okay.
in a way. So because that confused a lot of people, the next one they just called it Mortal Kombat X, since it's the Roman numeral for 10, and then 11 was 11, and now 12 is 1. So this is the third time that we've had Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weird thing about it is they already leaked who's going to be in it for the DLC. So we don't even know the main roster of the game, but we know who's going to be added to the game because of the DLC leaks. And 3 of them are former Mortal Kombat characters. We have Xuan Shi, we have Ermac, and we have Takada coming back. But the interesting thing is, like, these games always have crossover characters come in. And it looks like we're having Omni-Man, Peacemaker, and Homelander.
Oh my gosh.
Which is very loaded because 2 of these are practically the same type of character.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker is also kind of
Omni-Man.
sort of the same type of character, but instead of being like a replacement Superman, he's like a replacement Captain America type character.
I mean, who would win between Omni-Man and Homelander?
Oh, easily Omni-Man. Not even close.
Really?
No, Homelander at best is like nuclear bomb level of destruction.
Okay.
Omni-Man could like destroy a planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not even close. Omni-Man would destroy Homelander.
Joshua Hughes is here.
Yeah, hey Josh.
Apparently, we exist in the same universe, amazingly.
Yes, we're not just like digital shells on the internet in different boxes.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, I hadn't seen this. So I knew that they were doing... I saw that they were doing a... what was the... there's going to be a skin for Johnny Cage that's...
I don't think I've seen that.
you haven't seen that?
No, I don't think I have.
It's who is it wasn't Mortal Kombat, but it was a guy, it was an actor. Why am I drawing a blank? I don't know. I hadn't seen this DLC yet. But this is a leak.
Yeah, it's a leak, but it's basically it's a confirmed leak because they came out and they tried to talk about it. It's like anytime the studio comes out against a leak, that means it's an actual leak,
Right,
Not
right.
just a rumor that somebody put out there. Which I mean,
It's
it's
a-
not surprising. They do this all the time. We've had Freddy Krueger
Yeah.
in before. We've had the Predator. I think Jason's been in it before too. Like they always have these type of things. I would say the superhero is a little out there, except they started having that with the Mortal Kombat versus DC thing, and then they made Injustice as well. So superheroes probably fall more in line with Mortal Kombat crossovers than horror villains do these days.
Yeah. It's going to be, there's a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin
Oh, nice.
for Johnny Cage.
That's pretty cool.
But I don't think it's DLC. I think that's like day one. They're going to have that.
So the controversial part about this is, and you know, studios do this all the time now. It actually really hasn't been controversial for years, but it still should be, is that they have all the DLC planned before the game actually comes out.
Yeah.
And at least
hate
3 of
that.
these characters, or 2 of them actually had versions of them in the last game. So it probably wouldn't be that hard to just kind of like port over some of the development of it. So the Mortal Kombat characters are probably already done, and they're just
Yeah.
being cut away for like the season pass or anything like that.
Who is, so I know Ermac, that's like a robot, right?
Yeah.
Who are Quan Chi and Takeda?
Quan Chi I'm more familiar with because I remember playing him back in Armageddon. Let me pull up a picture for you. Takeda is one of those ones like I'm not like super because he's like the Nosferatu Chinese
Oh, okay.
vampire guy. Takeda I'm not like super familiar with because I'm also not like really in depth with Mortal Kombat lore. I'm like casual, passively know stuff
Yeah.
about Mortal Kombat. Let's see if I can find Takeda.
That's cool.
I mean, I enjoy the games. No, not that. Obviously, Takeda's just a name. I have to type in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's a company apparently named
There's a lot of Takedas. It's a common name. Okay, the dude with the frickin' lightsaber swords. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know everyone by name. My favorite Mortal Kombat game is Armageddon, but there's also like 72 people in that roster, so trying to remember the names of everybody. Yeah. It's not like Smash Brothers where you knew every character prior to the game coming out. Like half of the characters in Armageddon were made for Armageddon, and they've been casually reusing some of the characters in and out since then.
Which one was Armageddon? Was that 11?
Armageddon was. I'm trying to remember what number that was. It's either 5 or 6.
Oh.
It was on the PlayStation 2. It was like a long time back. There was like a big gap in development of Mortal Kombat games for a while. I think the death of Midway was one of the big causes for that before it became NetherRealm Studios and before WB took that over.
Okay.
Armageddon, I think that might have actually been the last one. Either that or one other one after that was the last one Midway made before they went out.
All right.
Yeah.
What's Joshua saying there?
Let's see. He says, it seems like the cameo fighters will be unplayable assist characters. That could make some people mad if their favorite character isn't actually playable. Okay.
Yeah, I read that too, that there are these cameo fighters that just come in and help.
Yeah, that's very common in games now. I don't really like that. It's
They had
kind
that
of like
in Smash Brothers too.
they did have that with the assist trophies, but also you could end up never even seeing them because you could turn items off. But it's trying to give them like that tag fighter feeling without actually being a tag fighter. So you're still playing the one character, but then assists come in. I think it usually makes gameplay too chaotic without being technical. So you end up bringing some people in, but they don't like it too much, and then the people who really like the technical gameplay end up being like driven out, and the game doesn't get supported as long as like other fighting games typically are.
Yeah. Diller Jaws, I think we blew his mind.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm in Texas.
This is the best thing ever. Yeah. It's a special episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
I came just for this show. And I'm going back home.
No, what you really came for is the Texas smoked barbecue that we're going to
Yes,
have
after.
later.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, that's cool. So, who leaked that?
I actually don't know who leaked it.
I guess if we knew, he'd be getting sued or something by the company.
So it was accidentally leaked by Amazon Italy.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like one of those errors where something went live before it was supposed to.
Amazon.
Yeah. That's funny. That happens a lot now. Like, special edition packs end up getting leaked because things go early. It's...
Yeah.
I actually, we don't even know if it was an accident. Sometimes they try to just claim it was an accident. There's some dude on the inside over there. It's like, ha ha ha, I'm going to boop, get this information out to
Whoops.
everybody.
Yeah.
Finger slipped. See, we also got an announcement that more of the Super Mario Advance games are coming to the Nintendo Switch Online.
I saw that.
Great.
Yeah.
I think those are some of the best versions of those games because a lot of these older games that never had a progress save feature had them in the Advance version.
Yeah.
And that's always cool because you could always save state in the old versions on the Switch. But it's not as cool as like actually being able to save your progress, closing out, coming back. I always liked it. So I'm happy.
I'm just looking back, I'm surprised that, like, I mean, I guess not considering technology, but like the fact that Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3 had no save states, had no saving and no passwords. You just had to play it through from beginning to end.
And like by the time like 2, I get, because that was like being made right around the time that Legend of Zelda was coming out. Legend of Zelda was the first game that had a battery pack that you could save. You could argue that maybe 2 still should have passwords. I think the first Mega Man had already come out by then, and it showed that a password system.
Yeah,
was
Metroid
very
had a
reliable.
password.
Yeah. And I think Metroid was also coming out around the same time Mario 2 was.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the original. But Doki Doki Panic was already after that. R2 should have had saves in it of some sort. 3, though, clear after battery packs had been proven.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And it had the overworld map system. You think there should be a save, but then we don't get anything close to that until Super Mario World.
Right.
Yeah. And I think part of that was still the focus on, in Japan, some of these games had arcade systems for them.
John is just going off on a tangent about how...
He shit himself. He needs to go change. And he's so jealous.
What you should be jealous of is the fact that he has a Mortal Kombat.
He's actually my brother's. But I can play him anytime I want.
Yeah, it's got Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
And what is that one?
That's Street Fighter.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo Champion Edition. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's like a little of everything. There's
I might just have to stay here after.
There's a pinball machine over there and everything too. He's quite the collector.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. Why did Amazon decide to have both Omni-Man and Homelander in the same game? Oh, I don't think Amazon decided that. They have like nothing to do with it. That would be Warner Brothers is the parent company there, which I mean, I guess they do technically have something to do with it because you had to license it from Amazon, sort of. But it was like a joint license. They could have also went to Image, and I don't know. It's all kinds of things. Probably both of them are hot properties. Why not have them both in the game?
Mm-hmm. Mortal Kombat's 2, but it ain't no marsupial.
Yeah.
You know I'm on the show every time. Almost,
every time.
So.
Yeah.
It's not all that different. It's just, we just happen to be next to each other.
Well, the difference is now, Dillard doesn't get to be involved because we're not in the Discord. We're just here together, so it's only us.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So they're bringing the advanced versions of Mario to Switch.
Which I'm wondering, the advanced versions also had an improved multiplayer arcade version of the original Mario games in it.
Yeah.
And they have online multiplayer. Like, you could even play Super Mario Bros. 3 together in the advanced versions. I'm wondering if the Switch version will actually function properly and you could hop on and play it with other people and get all 4 people in there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
They did release some Mario game that came with the original Mario Brothers recently.
Yeah, I think it was it 2? Because the original Super Mario Brothers Advance was Super Mario Brothers 2, Donkey Donkey Panic, and that was the first one that had the original Mario Brothers in it.
Yes, that's what it is, because I was playing that the other day.
And then it gets confusing. Yeah. Super Mario Advance 3 is actually Super Mario Brothers 3, so that one lines up. But to get it to line up, in between that, they released Super Mario World as Super Mario Advance 2, and then 3 happens to fall on 3.
Yeah.
But all of them, you could play the Mario game together because it was identical, that portion of the game. So you could link cable Advance 1, 2, and 3 together, or Advance 1, another Advance 1 and 2, and they were all compatible for playing the arcade game together.
Yeah. Well, our chat seems to want to talk about other things.
Who has the bigger hands? I would almost guarantee you, because I am small and have medium-sized hands, and you are a large person, so yeah.
Well, but I have my mother's hands.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well.
I mean, I'm just 5.5 foot versus 6. I'm just going to make the bold assumption the 6 foot person has bigger hands.
Yeah. Well, and John was asking who's taller. I am.
Yeah.
By only about 6 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, by my mother's hands, I mean she has really long,
fingers.
Fingers. My dad, who was a surgeon, had very short, stubby fingers for some reason. But
that's weird for a surgeon.
He's still.
People have told me I should go into either that or machining because I have very small but slender hands, so I can get into things. But it's weird for basically having dwarf hands and going in and doing surgery.
Yeah, I mean, he never had any trouble.
Yeah, it works
top
for
of
him.
his field and everything.
Yeah. Well, I think it actually shows that dexterity is more of a cognitive thing than it actually is a physical, unless you have some type of actual deformity.
Right.
Yeah.
But and Fitzgerald was saying something about.
Let's see. Why not another Invincible character? Well, that's different. Usually, the crossovers don't pull in this more than one character from the same property, unless you're Soul Calibur, because their team is cheap. And they're like, okay, we get one property, let's pull 3 or 4 characters from that instead of paying all these different licenses.
Yeah. Maybe in DLC 2 they'll have Omni-Man's son, whatever. Well, Invincible is the name, right?
Mark.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm still waiting for Season 2.
I know, that show's so great.
Which is, people like the first one, but I know the rough part of the story. Season 2 is where it starts to get good. It's like, oh man, I'm waiting for that. That's the fun part.
You want me to put on pants? I mean,
they're not making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, I did.
It's actually really hard to make me uncomfortable, though.
I did ask Metal to raise the camera
I
up
had
so
it,
that he
but
could see both my
we had
legs,
it. I put it back down after the games, and I forgot to reset it.
Yeah. I was driving for 10 hours. I wasn't going to wear hot pants, hot jeans or something the whole way.
Well, yeah, you don't want to say hot pants because that has 2 different meanings there.
Right.
Yeah.
What does he say?
Imagine being there in person and so close to it and almost falling out of those shorts.
They're not short shorts. Jeez.
That's funny. Yeah. But I'm excited for that. some of my favorite games were the Game Boy Advance Mario games. Specifically, we are getting 2, which is going to be Super Mario World. I had that one very early on. And I actually probably played that more than the original Super Mario World, even though we had that on SNES. Just because once a game's portable, you're like, man, I can play this shit all the time.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever had the advanced version of that. Because I played the hell out of the original. So,
Yeah.
You know,
Original's
I don't know
one of my
that they.
favorite
I mean,
games.
did they make any enhancements? It was already SNES, so the graphics were better.
Well, the sprites were a little better, even though they were almost a 1-to-1 port.
Yeah.
They were better, even for 2 and 3, than the All-Stars. I hate the All-Star versions where it's like, hey, we're going to bring in 1, 2, and 3, and even the Lost levels. But they're all going to have sprites that are slightly like the Super Mario World sprites, but not exactly. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'd rather you just exactly use the Super Mario World sprites if you were going to change the sprites, or just upscale all of the original ones. Because I think... it wasn't even a full 4 times. It was just a 2 times bigger. They could have just made all of them 2x2 squares, and it would have looked exactly the same.
I don't know.
Are y'all gonna arm wrestle? No, I don't think we're gonna do that. Invincible was kind of boring. Listen, I'm sorry if you don't like fun things, Fizjozo. We've kind of come to this conclusion already that you just don't really like fun things.
Oh, Buck wanted to get in on this, I guess.
Oh, no, he just didn't realize we were starting up because
okay.
we're not running through Discord. Even if he doesn't hop in, a lot of times he knows to go to the chat because he sees us in the live room.
Yeah.
Which I think... I don't remember if I changed it. At one point, I think I changed it to where any role could see us live. And only like mods and the regulars could jump in. At first, I had it that only people who could see the room or go jump into the room could see it. Then I'm like, well, then how would people know to go into the waiting room? And I think I fixed that. Yeah. You like the boys over Invincible? Are you crazy?
I like the boys, but I really liked Invincible.
Yeah, like I'm not super fond of it, but like I also don't hate on people who like it. I've heard it's actually way better than the comic. I'm already turned off. I didn't like the comic, you know. So it's like, yeah. But I've heard, especially like my brothers watch it. They had good opinions of it too.
I mean, they tried to do this whole thing, like social commentary thing, but it wasn't like, I think some people said it was like there was some wokeness or whatever, but I didn't think so. I mean, I thought it was clever.
Yeah, no, I think it was more tame than the comic, which maybe some people might even, because there was social commentary in the comic.
Yeah.
It was.
But they tried to make like Homelander's girlfriend was like a right-wing extremist.
Yeah, but she was in the comic too, so it's like they didn't change anything there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it fit. It worked.
No, it was because it was Garth Ennis, who is a big fan of Alan Moore, who was already putting social commentary in his stuff. So I think The Boys was kind of supposed to be like his Watchmen in a way, just like his perspective of doing a story like that. So it was gonna. It always had social commentary in it. It was just social commentary that was more apt to like the aughts than it is now.
I thought it was clever that she was able to like manipulate, you know, the perception of Homelander through memes and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of
just updating it to modern times a little bit. Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I just like Ennis's work prior to that because I liked it back in his early work before he did edgy stuff, but he wasn't trying to be edgy. Because I like his run on Preacher. I thought was really good. I liked it when he worked on Hellblazer. I think he actually made like the definitive personality for John Constantine. Even like if it's not like the one that in Keanu Reeves, because that really wasn't Constantine. But like when he hopped in the CW show, that was more of like the Ennis run personality. It's the one that people want to do now. I like that stuff. I just like by the time he got off of that and he got onto The Boys, he had a completely like different perspective on how he wanted to write, and I haven't really liked his work since.
What's that?
Diller says, "Okay, I'm back. Sorry I had to share this out." Fischozo says,
Oh, thanks.
The Boys blew my mind when I watched it, as it had you on the edge of your seat. Ennis hates superheroes except for Superman, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man. Yeah, he's not he's never really been a fan of superheroes. That's why he always liked working on those Vertigo stuff. Because they've been incorporated into the universe with those superheroes, but Constantine was never a superhero. He's a magician, right? And just straight up, he's closer to like a noir hero that deals in more cosmic things. But everyone likes the classics. So anyone who says they hate superheroes, they'll claim they hate Superman. They all secretly like Superman. Mm-hmm. Everyone likes Spider-Man. And I mean, if you're a man, you have to love Wonder Woman. You don't really have a choice on that.
Yeah. Dillard did share us out. Share the link.
Did you guys do the secret cult of Raven Handshake? Yeah, we did that when he showed up. We obviously couldn't do that on stream, or else it wouldn't be a secret.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hail Raven.
Yeah, Hail Raven. Let's see, what else we got?
What else we got?
We got plenty. Oh, no. SpongeBob SquarePants is going to Power Wash Simulator this summer. You're going to get to go down to Bikini Bottom. In the preview, they showed them
that doesn't make any sense.
Spraying off his grimy, what's it called, Pineapple House.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I haven't done the Final Fantasy VII stuff.
Oh yeah,
I gotta get back to that. I have the game. I just haven't done it.
The thing is, in SpongeBob, it makes perfect sense, even though he's underwater, because of all the jokes they've made about him being underwater. They have an entire beach. Mm-hmm. Under the water with their own waves and everything there, and somehow they can.
Don't they have fires?
They do have fires, campfires, and stuff like that. Like all kinds of things underwater that shouldn't be there. I remember there was like a special going on Nickelodeon where I think it was like Patchy, who was like the live action pirate that would interact sometimes, was having a party. And it would keep going back and forth between this live-action party with a bunch of pirates and puppets and the actual SpongeBob stuff. And he had invited SpongeBob to the party, but they couldn't read the note because the ink got smeared from the water. And they're like, don't they know the limitations of being underwater? And then they immediately tossed the note into a fire that's burning underwater.
Right.
Yeah. I think the writers of SpongeBob actually have always had a pretty good sense of humor. I think they got lazier with the writing over years, but around season 10-ish, it started to pick back up. Mm-hmm. But there's like this gap between season 4.5, somewhere. You could round it off down to 3. Between season 3 and 10, that's just like not even worth watching because it's the same jokes that were already told. They're very lazy, just in different settings. But they seem to be doing now. I stopped in like a random episode recently. It's like, okay, if I was a kid, I'd be watching this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Power Wash Simulator. Underwater.
Fizchozo has brought in the what is that called? Blasphemy.
He always thought that Starfire was hot, but not really Princess Diana hot.
That's two blasphemies in one sentence.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman.
My goodness.
I mean, I guess in like a physical, technical way, Starfire's hot because she's on fire, but that's like as far as you can go there.
Well, Starfire, that's Firestar.
No, she's sometimes... Well, Firestar is literally fire, but she has like that glowy fire thing when she's going through space. They kind of just made it like a plain glow in the cartoon, but like when they draw in the comics, she does look like a comet going through the sky. Even her hair kind of looks like fire going behind her. It leaves a trail. Mm-hmm. If you were going through space as fast as her, not only should you be hot, you should be ripping apart like the fabric of space around you because she's greatly exceeding the speed of light.
Yeah. I mean, Green Lantern too.
All of them, yeah. Like Green Lantern, somehow he has a quadrant, but like, what is a quadrant? Well, there's like, I think 56-ish galaxies in his zone, and he has to fly between them. It's like, even just flying across our galaxy, he'd be going massively faster than the speed of light. But then to get to like Andromeda in the blink of an eye, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, only
warp speed.
Flash gets to go that fast. No, everybody is going ridiculously fast.
Dillard wants us to play rock, paper, scissors, but, you know.
Yeah.
We don't just do anything that the chat says.
Yeah. Let's see. Buck says the Speed Force is Flash's excuse not to destroy everything. Everyone else is just meh. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I can get to Egypt in less than a second, but I'm not going to destroy the atmosphere in the process or anything like that. Yeah. So Futurama is coming back.
Oh,
Right, we had talked about this before, but they actually put up a teaser for the show. It's very, very brief. And
wait, new episodes or
yes, like the show is finally coming back. They were in talks about the renewal. They at first had trouble meeting a standard that what's his name? Bender's actor. I'm spacing on it. I always John something, same last name as a baseball player.
I'll have to look it up.
I have no idea why I'm spacing on his name. Great actor though, and they had trouble meeting his goal.
John DiMaggio.
DiMaggio, yeah. See, I always confuse him with Joe DiMaggio,
right?
Because they have the same last name and they both starts with a J. But yeah, they had trouble meeting the price point for him to be in the show. And not just for that, he wanted every actor to get paid more because he didn't feel like basically their contract matched inflation or anything like that. Like, voice actors get underpaid as it is.
Yeah.
I think the only person on that show that gets paid the big bucks is Katie Sagal because she's a live actor who's been in plenty of other things. And a lot of times in voice acting, that's what ends up mattering is like, have you been in a popular live action thing? So he was arguing for all of them. They renegotiated. He got his pay rate that he wanted, and they've been working on it. So we finally got our teaser to come out, and some people are worried,
including Fizchozo, apparently.
I honestly feel like this show shouldn't have come back nowadays. It's probably going to be woke. That's actually why some people are worried, because they were talking about how it's going to have social commentary. And they started naming things like against vaccines, lockdown, stuff like that. And I'm like, well, that's not inherently a bad thing. You know, it depends how they do it. Because South Park does the same type of social commentary, and it was a show that was always doing social commentary.
Yeah.
So we'll have to actually watch the first episode to see what direction they're taking it. We even have some other ones. Bitcoin is one, cancel culture, and streaming TV.
I mean, you can do it as long as the writers just aren't lazy about it, you know. I think the Simpsons writers have gotten really lazy.
Really, yeah.
And so, yeah.
I think
depends on the writers, I guess.
So when they were canceled by Fox, the last time they were canceled by Fox, they came back and got picked up by Comedy Central. It started off as a couple movies that they split up into a season, where like 4 episodes each for the 3 movies, and then it came back for an actual 9th season on Comedy Central. And because South Park's on Comedy Central, maybe they're like maybe they'll take some notes from South Park. You're like, look, they can actually do the type of edgy humor they've always been doing. We can just do things the way that we did it back then. I'm holding out a little bit of hope. I'm not trying to be too negative about it because I really like Futurama. I want it to be good.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite shows.
John, I agree with you. So far, the Futurama writers have never been lazy.
Yeah, even when they came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll hold my breath for Futurama.
Yeah.
I won't for a lot of things, but I'll hold my breath for Futurama.
Yeah. But yeah, as long as they don't fall prey to that.
Captain Infinity says most writers are lazy. Most comic book writers are lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's entirely true. Some aren't actually even doing any writing. Well, so that's another worry.
Not right now.
At least the show, I think it's done filming. This season was finished before the writer's strike started.
Oh.
So hopefully the writer's strike will finish before they need to actually write and shoot another season.
Yeah.
Because they're probably going to test at least a few episodes to see if they're going to renew again, given the fact that this show's been canceled so many times as it is. So hopefully timing will work out.
I actually went to my mom's house a few nights ago and realized that she had saved a bunch of my shit from years ago, and I actually had the entire Futurama. Well, I may not have had the later episodes, but I had like the movies and the whole show up until then, and so I've got that in my car right now.
That's nice, yeah. Your Steam Deck starts off that way. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You got the Futurama thing you have modded in there.
So, yeah, I've got the whole, several box sets.
Yes. We love Futurama here on the Vomitorium. So, hopefully we get to continue loving it. I mean, we can always still love the old stuff. A lot of times when they come back, you could just, kind of ignore it if it is bad. But We're hoping it just stays up to the standard that Futurama has always been. I don't even think they were necessarily lazy with was it Disenchanted or whatever it was called.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, like I think it was kind of lazy in the fact that they were kind of just reusing some tropes and characters from Futurama, but the jokes they were making were original to the setting. I don't think they were lazy in that regard. So the fact that they're going back to the home turf of Futurama, they kind of still want to tell those jokes, and it's the same team. I'm hoping that it just continues to formula. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Diller says, remember the last strike when that hack Leno was just sitting behind his desk spinning his wedding band because he couldn't even think of anything to talk about? Yeah, and that's actually was a disappointment because the reason Leno was hired is because he was a stand-up comedian who told his own jokes. But then I think he realized once you get up on that stage, it's like there's a lot more writing than just telling jokes. So he was still able to do his open and stuff. But it's like you're basically having to improv for an entire hour block if you don't have segments pre-written for you. It is a lot of work. I feel kind of bad, but I think this is also the weakness of late night comedy, where you really should have a strong person up there that can improvise in between the guests and stuff if you're going to have a possible problem with the writer strike.
Yeah. Are the late night shows now are just on hiatus, right? They're just showing reruns?
Just reruns. Yeah. Which is funny because I think two of them, they also got their jobs because they were writer. Yeah. Seth Meyers, which everybody forgets he even has a show because nobody watches it, was a writer on SNL. So you'd think he'd be able to hold his show on his own, but no. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy Fallon also did writing on SNL because everybody who was a cast member was expected to write in some format. That's how most of them got onto the cast in the first place, was they were writing, and hopefully they could get a character in where they get casted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Howard Stern show didn't miss a beat. Well, that's radio, though. That's, like, different. These radio hosts are way more talented than the late night hosts, too.
Yeah.
Just in general. Radio, like, that is an endurance trial because radio shows are often anywhere between 3 to 4 hours long because they have to do the entire traffic block for when people are coming home if you're during that section, or going in if you're the morning one. And you can't afford downtime, and you're doing it 5 days a week.
And they obviously don't have writers.
No, it's just them.
The hosts. So
yeah.
Wouldn't affect them.
Like us here, we don't have writers. But I kind of formatted this almost like a radio show. There was a point where we were doing 3-hour shows.
Yeah.
Which was fun. It's just
that was a little grueling.
It was, yeah.
It was just like, are we done
well, the problem really was we could handle that. It was one before you got your meds for the ADHD and stuff, so that was a problem. But it was also, it wasn't the Wednesday show that was really the problem. It was the Saturday, because we had the up to like anywhere between 4 to 6 hour
right.
Final Fantasy tabletop the day afterwards. So it's like you're coming off of this, going straight into that. Like, I understand. We'll just go back to the hour and a half. And so that was a rough show doing the Saturday into Sunday. Especially with how early we had to be up too, because a lot of people like to sleep in on Sunday. It's like, no. I was getting up at least to be ready for noon so that I could be up early. And then we were running it at 2 here. So it's like, there's no sleeping in that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it did kind of show how talented radio guys are. You have to be. You can't afford not to be talented on radio.
Captain Infinity is very demanding.
Yeah.
We must entertain him immediately with our witty repartee.
See, he says, I know from experience, I run out of gas for a live stream within 1 hour without another person. I've done some pretty long solo live streams. It depends what I'm streaming, though. And I think that's also why a lot of people, video game streams are pretty good, because it's a lot easier to hold up when you actually have the video game to play off. It's almost like having a co-host in a way. But I've done art streams in the past. I haven't done one in a long time. I should probably set up and do that again. But like my art streams are always multiple hours long, and that's just me sitting there at a desk by myself, like, kind of like the way Jason does it. And think I've done some writing streams that were that long by myself too. I don't know if any of those are still up, but you do it. You just need something to do.
I'm always amazed by some of these streamers, like even the VTubers. Like I was watching Henya the other day, the new one, play Resident Evil 4, I think it was, and she would like pause the game and go off on a tangent for an hour, and I'm like, how do you even come up with these ideas of what to talk about?
I don't know.
She wasn't even talking about the game. She was just talking about other stuff.
I think you kind of just build up. It's almost like a muscle you work on. Because I could talk about nothing forever. But I've also been doing vlogs on and off since like 2011, right? So that's just you I'll walk around. It's just you talking to no one. You don't even have a chat to go off of. You're just having to riff into a microphone, into a camera. I remember when Borderlands the pre-sequel came out, I did a 14-hour stream that day, nonstop. I think I only got up maybe twice to use the restroom during the whole stream. And I was riffing on stuff on and off during that time. But, it's a game. So, like, there are times where, like, you can take a break. You could just listen to the game talk so that people can watch the scenes and things like that.
John's still fangirling out about this.
Yeah. This is a big deal for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just jealous he doesn't get to be at the meetup.
Yeah. Where are you? Didn't you know? Didn't you get the memo?
Yeah, if timing worked out better, if I don't know, if things were happening a little bit later, Nerd Wonder would have been at the meetup too.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it, but
it is
this close.
It is kind of a long drive. Like, obviously, your drive is longer, but there's clearly a difference between when you're already in transit and then if you're stationary and having to go an hour and a half. I
was a little bummed. I've never met Nerd Wonder. I didn't even know what she looks like. So. Have you met her before?
Yeah, it's been a while. It was at there was a drive-in, like a movie thing, where meet up, where you had to go out there. She was having a whole bunch of CG people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. That was like early on in CG.
She's cute as she sounds.
Yeah.
John wants to know how I feel about your head.
I just shaved it a couple days ago because I was getting tired of it. It's like it's summer, it's hot, it's getting long in some places and not in others. I might as well just shave it again.
Mine is a mess.
I just periodically shave it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to probably do that soon because I'm fine here in the front. I've got plenty of hair, but I'm getting a little.
You go up to your shelf to get something, and then we see it all. And...
Yeah, it's a little thin in the back here, unfortunately. But
I don't know. I think the manly thing to do is just to. I think in general, women tend to find it pretty attractive when you just go and you keep it clean, you owning up to it and stuff. And
have you seen? I think it's called Bald Cafe or something like that on YouTube. Oh, you should check it out. It's an awesome channel. It basically talks about that. It's just it's obviously sort of a channel for men. And they talk about how, all the anxiety of hair loss and all that stuff. Yeah. And they really encourage men to just go ahead and shave it off. Like, you'll look great. And, and invariably they do. Like, it'll show before and after. And the guy has, like, long hair, but, like, he's balding in various places. And it's like, and then the after, he's like, oh, my gosh, it looks so much better.
Yeah. So, like, I'm at the point, like, mine, that still looks fine when it's short enough. But it's like, I don't ever let it get long enough that it looks bad. But it's like, I'm going to just get used to it now. I don't care. Yeah.
Looks fine to me.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Dillard says, I imagine Fizchozo looks like George Floyd. Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
That's Dillard's opinion. For the most part, I don't care what
hopefully
people
not
look
like now, but like,
yeah. Like when he was the same age.
What he looked like a few years ago.
Yeah.
When he was alive.
See, Captain Infinity is gambling on women that find a man with a $3 million film deal attractive. Well, if you have $3 million of worth in any asset, I think you're immediately considered attractive by the majority of women.
I'm gambling on women who find men with $3 million worth of crypto attractive.
Yeah.
I'm about 1/10% there.
No, I don't think you're gambling at all.
Right.
You already have a woman. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, technically true.
Yeah, like, it's like second you're flipping your phone on to check the chat. I see your lock screen or whatever. It's like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
already got a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You noticed.
Talked about several times. Yeah.
There she is in her peach outfit. Oops. But anyway.
Let's see, it's a 20-hour drive for him if I don't stop to pee to get over here. Yeah, it's a pretty long drive.
Well, I'll be in Phoenix in a couple of
Yeah.
days, so it's a lot shorter for you.
Well, the funny part is, too, depending on which way you go, which if I was going that way, the most direct highways would take me through El Paso, though you could go up by Lubbock and cut through northern New Mexico instead. But that's if you're heading your way instead of trying to get as fast to California as possible. Half of the trip would be just leaving Texas, because if you're going the El Paso way, that's like a 9-hour drive just to El Paso. Yeah, see. Finity says, it has to be for a film deal, though. Love me for my witty repartee. Or repertoire?
Repartee.
Repartee. I don't like French words. I'm usually
took
good with
French
like
for 12 years,
almost
so.
any language, but I hate French, and I almost refuse to learn how to pronounce French
Yeah.
things.
I took French for 12 years, and I can't really speak
Yeah.
any of it at all.
You ask me like how to say something in 20 other languages but French, and I probably know how it's pronounced. Yeah, you're buying dinner. If you have the $3 million deal, I think you're probably the one who should be buying dinner. Just saying. But that's me.
Well, what other stories do we have?
Let's see. So almost a little too late.
To anything.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are finally adding Pokemon Home, which, I mean, is something that honestly should have been there from the start. You have this system that already exists prior to making the game. You've been using it for several games already, and you decide that your system is not going to be integrated with your new game at the beginning. That should have been a launch thing.
So, is that going to allow you to bring in Pokemon that aren't normally in the game?
Yes, it's going to let you import Pokemon from your previous games. You can also take Pokemon out of Scarlet and Violet to Home. This will make the competitive scene better again, because that means they can bring back their other teams and they can do it in Violet. Honestly, I think they should not be using Scarlet and Violet for competitive scene. The Pokemon Home should just have like a Pokemon Stadium arena in there where you can just battle people. There's no reason you have to use new games to keep the tournaments up. The new game should just come with the new Pokemon, and then you can incorporate those into the tournaments. It makes no sense, but that's how the Pokemon Company is running things.
But the game, they must have to program all the Pokemon into the game in order for you to be able to bring in
Yes.
the other Pokemon.
Yes, which is why it's like the only thing they must have failed to do
Yeah.
was whatever thing they needed for the network integration. All the Pokemon had to already be in the game.
Unless that update includes all that.
There's going to be a really big update.
That's what I was
because
gonna say.
The only other thing it says is in the update is that it's going to be fixing some problems they've been having with the Tournament and Battle Network part. So it would have to be a huge update to be coming with all the other Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's crazy. Does that mean it'll have the national decks? Will they show up in the
I'm
decks?
assuming this will come with the national decks, or if it doesn't, that just means they're incorporating the Scarlet and Violet decks into Home, and that's the most they're doing. I don't know. It's not that specific. We'll find out when it happens, but it's going to be version 3.00.
I mean, that's just a database.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it would be hard to just include all of them.
The only hard thing is making sure that all of the models are functional in the game and have the appropriate, like, not just stats, but like the appropriate, I guess, event triggers and stuff in it. So it's like if this
And
move
moves.
happens,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess all the moves and behavior, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that's
it.
all just algorithms they've already got
yeah.
worked out.
And it's event triggers. It's like, okay, you set this move, this thing comes out, and because it's a Charizard and he's up here, the Fire Blast starts from this spot instead of down here where the other Pokemon was. That's it.
John says he needs his level 6 Magikarp.
Oh, yeah.
Good man. Magikarp is the best Pokemon.
Magikarp's great. Well, especially if you do the I think it's Focus Sash, or I'm trying to remember which one. There's one that stops you from dying. It might be Focus Band, where like you won't die from a critical hit. You'll always be left with one, and then you have to be hit again to die from there.
Oh.
If you do that plus Flail is one of the craziest strategies. There was somebody who did that with 6 Magikarps before. And you go in, and it could be a level 1 Magikarp that knows Flail, because Flail scaled off of the attack you got hit with.
Oh.
Right? So the larger the disparity, since a level 1 Magikarp has no defenses, if like a level 99, level 100 Pokemon hits the Magikarp, it would hit it with more damage than that Pokemon has health. So Flail would retaliate that damage, and the Magikarp would be left with 1 health, and the other guy would be dead.
Yeah.
But then the next Pokemon would come and kill it. But if you have 6 Magikarps, it's like, well, the last Magikarp's going to be left with 1 health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cheap strategy.
Does Flail always hit?
I think they fixed it to where it doesn't anymore, but back then it did. It was very cheap. Yeah. Let's see. That's why I don't care about sales of my comics so much, Finity says. It's for the film deal. That's where most people have been since the 90s. That's why the rise of the graphic novel came up. And you get like these really bland comic pages that are all straight up gridded, because they're basically just doing storyboards for a movie that they want to sell.
Yeah.
And then it got popular again in the 2000s, probably because Scott Pilgrim sold and did so well. They're like, hey, look, it's back. Let's all make our graphic novel film deal. I'm like, no, get out of here. Make a comic first, make a good story, and then you can translate that into a good movie.
Now, when Scarlet and Violet only came out recently.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
what do they mean too little too late? It's only been a few months.
There's been some heavy drop off.
Oh, okay.
Right? The player base, like continuous players, you could check, because a lot of the stuff with the raids are online, has been a lot lower than Sword and Shield at the same time, which personally argue, I think Sword and Shield's a worse game, but it was a finished game that wasn't very buggy. So even though I like the core of Scarlet and Violet better, Sword and Shield
buggy,
had more.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty buggy. Yeah. Even like textures not loading or running off of objects and stuff like that, and all kinds of different things. Frame rate coming to a halt sometimes, which they fixed most of that. But there's been a huge drop off. Maybe some people will come back when they hear that it's home, but they're doing this after Tears of the Kingdom already came out, which Tears of the Kingdom is already going to outsell the game. Breath of the Wild outsold both versions, if you add them together, of the last Pokemon game. So I don't even think it's going to be close. You're trying to pull people off of the longest Zelda game ever made that's going to take them forever to finish, to go back to play a Pokemon game they've already beat but weren't able to put their Pokemon into until now.
Yeah.
It's something they should have done much sooner.
Is there a fan that's making noise?
Oh yeah, that's probably my computer fan. It sucks. It's old. It's actually one of the reasons why I have this right here, right? Is because I'm pretty sure I took a gamble. I didn't want to open up and find out. Pretty sure my wireless card is on this side, which is a really bad side because it's also where the CPU and the cooling fan is. And after a while, my wireless card just wasn't picking up. Like, it would disconnect and stuff. So it's like, I'm not even going to bother with that. I think it's overheating. It's probably frying from the CPU. I'm just going to get an external one, which has a wider range anyway, so I'm getting a better signal from it than when I was just going off the internal card. But yeah, no, it's a common problem with Asus computers. They tend to be good, but their cooling systems will fail, and they tend to get very hot. Which is why when I'm not streaming a lot of times during the summer, I even have a fan pointed at it. Who is better at Mortal Kombat 2? Did you guys play each other?
I just got here.
If I were to take a bet, I'm probably just generally better at fighting games. Though if anybody would probably win here at that game specifically, it's probably my brother Matt over there. And that's because he was actually looking up combos and practicing. I really haven't been touching the game at all. So he's got like
Plus, I haven't-
hours of practice ahead of everyone.
I haven't played Mortal Kombat in years, so I'm pretty good with Ms. Pac-Man though.
Yeah, I mean,
I could-
Miss Pac-Man's right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, you could get some before we go and hit up Spring Creek later.
I'm a semi-pro.
Yeah.
Have I ever been paid? I don't know how that's. I don't know what semi-pro is, but
I don't know. Have you ever gotten donations on stream?
yeah, I guess.
Pro gamer, right there. You've been paid for it. That's what I count. It's like I've gotten donations while streaming games. I'm a pro gamer. That's all that matters.
Just not Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Here's a funny thing. Blizzard made such a big stink about Overwatch 2's competitive mode, the PvP, being functionally Overwatch 1 and giving it to you for free, just with more characters, because they were going to put all this effort into the PvE modes and the story and stuff. Well, they just announced that they canceled the PvE, that they were putting all that effort into. The bug-ridden mess that was PvP, all the excuses now don't matter. And they were also saying that the PvE was going to be very similar to the Overwatch-like MMO that they also canceled. So Blizzard isn't doing so hot with most of their properties right now. And I even saw Asmongold was complaining about this. I don't know if you saw the video or not.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, just because you've been packing it on the road, so I figured you'd miss it. But it's like, it's basically everything that they've been hyping up, everything that they've been making excuses and delays for their number one property, because even though WoW kind of has a comeback with Dragonflight for the most part, Overwatch has been their hype machine.
Yeah.
They made all kinds of sales with the first one, huge personalities. BlizzCon was coming back because they were trying to hype up Overwatch 2 and everything. So they did announce there's going to be a BlizzCon this year. It has been confirmed. And all of that's for waste because they canceled everything and let everyone down. And all their support, because people were buying things, wanting to support the game, all of that just went to nada.
But you can still play. I mean, Overwatch 2 is out.
Yeah, you can still play it, but
You can still play PvP.
at this point, you'd rather play Overwatch 1 because the new characters aren't really that good. Or like, they're buggy too. The game's buggy. Overwatch 1 is still running. You can go play it on the servers. Everything works. It's stable. None of the characters have bugs or anything. Overwatch 2 is kind of just a laughing stock at this point.
You know who's a big Overwatch player?
Yeah.
Pope Fire.
Yeah,
loves
you
it.
know, I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
She loved it so much, like she lent. I guess she had a second account,
Yeah.
and she lent it to me so that I would play with her. I was like, okay, sure, I'll play. So yeah, she was
Yeah.
crazy about it.
I don't like hero shooters, so I was never into it. I was into Team Fortress 2 like really, really early on when the game was newer, but I just could never get into it. I tried getting back because I had friends years later who played it. They wanted to play. But I'm more of an arena shooter guy, so even in like Team Fortress 2, I was like the lamest player, but people still hated me because I have really fast twitch reflexes.
Yeah.
So I can like do like 360 no scopes and stuff. I'm really good at that. And I was playing the Pyro with only the default shotgun because the default shotgun can shoot like on the other side of the map and has no spread. Right? It's almost like a trick shotgun if you're shooting plates. And I would just like snipe people really quick, and they hated it because like I'm playing Pyro, who's already an annoying character, but I'm not playing him the way that people play him. That was annoying people more. But I was playing it like I was playing an arena shooter, like I was playing Quake or something. Because every time I'm playing it, I'm just thinking to myself, I'd much rather be playing Quake, right? And that's why I was never into Overwatch. Plus, it just seemed like Team Fortress 2, but gayer. Right? And I don't even mean that with like the fact that they up all the pride stuff. I mean like even the story is trying to take itself a little too seriously. They're being kind of like having some faggotry about it and stuff. And while like Team Fortress 2 doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Yeah.
And everything's very balanced. It has been for years. I think it's a better game. It's just not my kind of game. It's like if I'm gonna play a game like that, I'm gonna go play the better one. Let's see.
Well, I never got that much into it, but Pope Fire, if you're listening, I'm not poor like I was back then. I could pay.
I don't think Pope Fire watches the
I know,
Vomitorium.
but I could pay for my own account if you want to play again. She paid for it because I couldn't at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't have any money, but
During the hard times. Let's see. Dillard says, I almost won I think that's Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament back in 2008 at a barber shop. But my buddy, the owner, joined last minute and kicked my ass. What a dick. Yeah, I would assume like if the owner of the place has the machine there all the time, he probably plays it when he doesn't have things to do, so he's going to be good at the game.
yeah. I'm betting the fact that you have this right here, you're
I don't practice,
probably
though.
very good. Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of them, though, like, I have general competency in Street Fighter because I've played a lot of Street Fighter in my life. A lot of it carries over. Like, I know the inputs and stuff like that. Same in Killer Instinct. Like, I'm generally competent in most fighting games because I can carry over things from experience playing fighting games. But somebody who plays that fighting game a lot would probably beat me because they know how to play the game. But if I were to play like against your average person, I would probably win by default just because of my general competency.
Yeah. I'm generally incompetent at fighting games.
Yeah. Let's see. Marsupial already making excuses. Yeah.
I don't need to make excuses. I guarantee I will lose.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm not. I would just assume I'm going to win. That's all that matters.
I'll just be mashing buttons.
Let's see. Oh, so speaking of Activision, the deal for Microsoft and Activision has reportedly been approved by China. We knew it was already going to be approved. It was kind of leaked a while back because right now it seems the only real obstacle is the UK, but we haven't gotten the sign off in a bunch of locations. Like the US, we're pretty sure it's going to happen. It looks like it's happening. We just haven't seen the sign off yet. In fact, they're probably waiting on that for after the appeal of the UK, just like holding, it's like, let's just dance around. If the UK actually says no and there's nothing to do about it, then that kind of gives us an excuse to say no. But if not, we're just going to go through with it. But China has been approved.
I still find it crazy that they have to get approval from all these different countries.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's just like, we're an American company. Why?
It's kind of region, right? Like, they have to get approval from different regions.
Yeah.
But
it's bizarre.
Technically, they don't. They could just look for the FTC approval here.
Yeah.
But it just means there's going to be complications trying to operate in other regions.
I guess.
People usually find workarounds like shell companies and stuff, and they're like, listen, even if there's a penalty for it, we'll pay the fine because we'll make more money than what the fine's going to be losing us, which will probably happen in the UK if it doesn't get approved. They'll just make a Activision Blizzard shell company pay whatever type of tariffs or fines they have to for it because it'll still be worth doing it. But
do they have to have companies in these like other regions in order to have like
they all have
server farm or
local
something?
Headquarters and stuff like that? All of them do, except in China, but they still have to have approval. So they have to have a partner in China. Activision Blizzard doesn't currently have a Chinese partner. And now, when we saw that they weren't renewing it, I think we found out the reason. They're going to rely on, why renew our Chinese partner? If we're going to become part of Microsoft, we're just going to use their Chinese partner.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so I think this is part of that approval here, too. It's like if they merge... maybe WoW will be back in China again. They're just going to be under the new partner that Microsoft already is using in China. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Which I didn't. This was already happening, and I didn't even consider that at the time. But as I was thinking about it, I'm like, no, that makes perfect sense. That's why they would not renew it. Yeah. But yeah. We've got one less hurdle. Japan's clear. China's clear. The main EU is clear. I think Australia, which they have a separate office there, is looking to clear. We're looking to clear. And I think the UK is the only other major one they have to worry about because they don't have an office in Russia. Russian cells come through the EU almost like a secondary market. They don't have office in any African country. That just gets imported usually from Europe. A lot of the Middle East stuff also comes from Europe. I think they do have a Middle Eastern company, but I don't think they actually have to seek approval because the Middle Eastern countries just don't care.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think they talked to Saudi Arabia. I heard some loose things about that, but it just ultimately doesn't matter. They don't care enough. Like, are you paying your taxes? Yes. Okay, we don't care.
I almost think if they got approval from the U.S. and China,
that should be fine for like everywhere.
I don't think they'd even care about the UK anymore.
No,
'Cause
yeah,
they'd
it
just
shouldn't.
be like, well, China's
Sorry.
a bigger market than you anyway. So.
Sorry, English people. You know, like you're out of luck.
Yeah.
You're a very small country as far as we're concerned.
Tell if you don't like it, tell your government to approve us.
Yeah, and I do think they have some like partners and offices in South America, but I don't think they care because most of those countries don't even have monopoly laws or anything. I think the biggest one would be Brazil, and I don't even know if they care.
I mean, what would happen if the UK didn't approve this? I mean, it's Microsoft though, also. So
Yeah.
like, they couldn't pull out like what all of the UK wouldn't be able to have Microsoft Windows anymore.
No, so it's the way like parent companies and subsidiary work. I think Microsoft would still be allowed to do business. They just wouldn't be able to sell anything that's part of that subsidiary, right? And they could claim it's like, well, it wasn't part of this subsidiary. We published it under Rare here.
Yeah.
But then, if they do an audit and they find out that's where the issues come. But I think, like, again, they wouldn't care. Like, how much are the fines ultimately going to be compared to how much money they'll make selling the game?
Yeah.
There was another company, I can't remember which one does it, but there's a company that actually does that in the UK. They weren't approved for a merger, and they just use a shell company, and if they get audited, they pay the fines.
Eagle's asking the same question somebody else asked.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
Hi, Eagle.
Yeah, hey Eagle, how you doing? It's been a while. But,
I'm here in Texas.
Yeah. And honestly, a nice cool day compared to how it's been. You kind of came during a lucky time because I think it's only in the 70s today.
It felt like it got cold as I was going farther
Yeah, well,
west.
there was a front that came with the storm that just passed through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 73 right now, which makes it even an okay temperature in here.
It's like 85 in Alabama right
Yeah,
now.
it's probably only marginally cooler in here, just because we had that door open the whole time. So it's probably like 70 even. Nice, comfortable
Feels fine to
temperature.
me.
Yeah. It was like 87 the other day right before that storm came out, so it was a perfect time to come through.
Should have seen me yesterday packing the car. I was just like drenched in sweat.
Oh, well, I had assumed so because I saw the storm had just come through
Yeah.
here first, and it was just
Well,
it's like a monsoon.
not from rain, from sweat.
Oh, from sweat, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant you were packing in the rain.
No.
Oh.
It wasn't raining yet, but
yeah.
it was
Did
like
you drive through it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like 85 to 90 and like 90% humidity. It was insane.
Oh, yeah. Because Alabama, you're like just north of all of the swamp area.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So it gets pretty humid there.
But plus like with the storm like coming,
Yeah.
it gets more and more humid as it gets there. And oh my god,
oh, yeah.
I took 2 showers yesterday, and then I just gave up because I was like, I'm just gonna keep getting sweaty if I.
I had a similar day. That was a long day. Last Wednesday, right? The Wednesday show. I put off mowing the lawn in the morning because our lawn was so high that it was still keeping all the dew in it, so it was kind of too wet. And it was probably in the 80s by the time I woke up. So I woke up a little bit earlier. I mowed the lawn, and it took a really long time because how high it was, and the mower would get stopped up because of too much mulch. It took me an hour to do the backyard because the backyard was higher. And then almost no time to do the front yard because it's in the shade, so the grass just doesn't grow as fast. And then almost like immediately after I'm done, I hop onto the show. So I'm like cooling off as we're on the show. And I had back-to-back shows that day.
Oh, yeah.
It was rough. Like I know how you feel. I was drenched. You probably couldn't see it because sometimes I even have like a filter on my camera or whatever. But yeah. And this was just a joke story. Apparently, there's going to be a new mega structure. The Dubai Moon mega structure is a proposal, and it looks like something straight out of Destiny. I want to see. It was the tweet had the picture. Yeah, let me pull that up. Because apparently, it's. Oh no! I didn't want to open. Whatever. This is the news. They're making this huge moon megastructure in Dubai, which
It actually looks like the moon.
that
with all
it does
the-
look like the moon. It's
like the colors, and
a
everything.
scale model and everything.
Wow.
There's like the Sea of Tranquility is there. Everything's exactly where it belongs, which is cool. It means that you get to kind of experience what the dark side of the moon looks like in person if you go there, because we can never see it due to it being tidally locked. You can only see it from like satellite pictures of things that get sent past the moon.
Yeah.
Well,
the other side is all pockmarked because that's the side that
Just
actually gets
all
hit
the
by
asteroids
asteroids.
and stuff. Yeah. Well, there's like another sea on the other side too
Yeah.
that we just never get to see. But yeah, it's gonna be $5 billion, which is insane. I don't know why you would want to spend $5 billion on it, but it's Dubai. They make all kinds of crazy things. I think like
Is
the
it-
largest structure in the world is there, just like a huge tower.
Is it a hotel or?
I don't know.
Business?
It looks like there's a hotel or something underneath it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can open this in a new tab.
Is it going to be like the Epcot? What's that ride called? Something or other Earth.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, it does look like there's something underneath it. Like a lake, like a wave pool or some type of beach area. But I mean, would you want to be right underneath that giant moon? Like, I'm sure it's stable. You can see like there's posts and stuff like that. But like, just
Could
imagine
fall and-
standing underneath that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they can't see it. I could pull it up for you. Let me.
I imagine there's going to be like a Mission Impossible style movie where that thing gets destroyed in the movie.
Oh, yeah,
Not
I
for
would.
real, but
Using like CGI or whatever.
yeah.
Oh god, that's huge. And also, it's behind us. Where are we? This is us. Let me pull us down. There we go. Oh, nope, that's us. One thing I hate about it is like sometimes you go to click on something, you're like, I'm on the right layer, and then it just pulls something from a different layer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is for everybody watching the stream. They can
Cool.
see that thing is huge. I don't know again why you would want to make something. You could see towers, like skyscraper buildings next to it.
How does Dubai have so much money? It's called oil, I think.
Oh yeah. It's like it's one of the richest places in the
Yeah.
whole world.
It's all from oil.
It's a extremely capitalist. Is it a country, a zone, something?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a market zone of its own. I think it might be officially a country.
Plus, all that wealth is really concentrated, like,
Yeah.
with the royal family or whatever. Like Alaska has a lot of oil too, but they
Yeah.
give all the money to all the citizens of Alaska. I don't think Dubai does that.
No. It's all located in the land holders. The royal family isn't the only person who owns land there, but they own the vast majority of it, so they have the majority of the money. But there's a lot of money in Dubai, period, because they've built this up as an economic zone. So like,
Right.
there's
They're
world
smart.
trade that happens and stuff there. So there's plenty of other rich people in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they just have a lot of extremely
Yeah.
wealthy business people.
And they're very lax on most laws. They're pretty strict on like very religious things. Like there's
Sure.
certain things that you will get thrown in jail immediately for, but they're lax on a lot of stuff that we aren't for a reason. Like one of the reasons a lot of the fighting organizations will open up their stuff there because they can get away with a lot of stuff in like the rules of the fighting circuits and stuff that you couldn't get away with here. So it's a very weird place. They definitely have strict laws, but they're just not the ones that you would think based on the society that we live in.
Not strict business laws.
Yeah. But like,
Although I
they'll
wonder-
arrest people for infidelity in
Yeah.
Dubai.
Although somehow I doubt there are too many rich women. That live
No, well, they are by proxy. Like they're rich because they're married, and
Right.
technically all assets belong to both people. It's just the husband's the one in charge of the
Sure,
assets.
sure.
But like honestly, because of the culture there, the women wouldn't want to have the charge of the assets. Oh no, leave it to the husband. I've got control of the home. It's
Yeah.
mine. And a lot of them have really big homes. Like you mean control of the home? It's like you see this tower.
Yeah.
This is my home. If I want something changed in it, I get to change it anytime.
See this 50,000 square foot mansion? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I get to be in
I
charge
walk on
of.
a random floor that somebody's doing business on. I don't like the way that pillar is. I tell them to change the pillar. Done. It's like, yeah, you're a powerful person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think in society you should do things just because it's cool. We aren't leaving so many things behind. I don't know how. This isn't like the pyramids. This is something that like the base structure needs to be maintained. If the society disappeared, this would sink into the ground. I don't know if it would fall apart. I don't know how solid that structure is going to be. There might just be this huge sphere caved into the ground that might be left behind. But
I mean,
we're not leaving things behind as a society like the older ones did.
Yeah, we used to do this kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Nashville has a perfect replica of the Parthenon.
Yeah.
And because I lived in
Memphis
Tennessee.
has the
Memphis
sixth
has-
largest pyramid in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the pyramids,
Which is
and-
a Bass Pro Shop,
the pyramid,
which is
yeah.
kind of cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And Knoxville has a sun sphere, but it's just
Yeah.
it's full of wigs, according to The Simpsons.
Yeah. But
And then you look at Las Vegas, and it has like all this crazy stuff. It has
yeah, so Vegas would be something that's left behind. Some of its stuff is stable, like the towers would eventually fall under their own weight, but
Yeah.
like a pyramid. The one in Memphis is mostly glass, so if like something happened, that might fall
But I'm-
apart.
I'm-
but
I'm
the
just
structure,
saying-
the metal structure, the glass would be gone, but there would still be a pyramid
Sure,
there. Even the smaller pyramid in Nevada would stay there. There's a lot of stuff in Vegas that would stay there too. There's a lot of things that would stay behind. We just aren't building as much as others. Disney. A lot of their stuff, like if you were to evacuate it and leave it there for 100 years, the castle's stable enough that it would kind of keep itself. There's some of the ride stuff. People would see there was a society here before
Yeah.
us.
But my point is,
Yeah.
the United States used to do stuff
Yeah.
like this moon thing.
Mount
but-
Rushmore is something we'll
Yeah.
leave behind. That's a huge thing
Yeah,
that we'll leave
yeah.
behind. And that will stay like that even through weathering for a long time. Like maybe certain things like noses will fall off due to weathering, but like the main structure of Mount Rushmore will stick around for almost ever.
Yeah. Hey, Fanta.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just looking at the
You got-
time. We started a little late. If we're trying to keep our normal time, we still have about 14-ish minutes.
yeah. Well, hide the moon so she can see me.
Yeah, so you can see that we're actually here together. Let me get that here. Hey,
Hey, there I am. I'm here in Texas.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
metal.
Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, it's a fun game.
And Eagle was asking how Tears of the Kingdom is. Well, if you ever came to my live streams, you could have watched me play it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you can always go back and watch the VOD.
It's awesome. Yeah,
It's there.
go to my channel. And,
I'm probably gonna try to stream it soon. I thought we were getting out of here a little bit. Or it's not that I thought we were moving soon. We don't know when we're moving exactly, but I think it is pretty stable that we're here till the end of the month.
okay.
So I might pull. I already packed my Switch up and my Elgato and all that. I might just unpack it and start streaming Tears of the Kingdom because I want to play it. I really haven't had time because I was still finishing up that short story contest last week that I was judging and then all the other stuff. But I have time now, and I kind of want my first impressions on stream too if I can. So I think I might do that soon.
Yeah.
You know.
I used to live like an hour away from Fanta.
Oh, yeah.
And she lives real close to Birmingham. So
Oh well, I knew she was in the state. I just didn't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I think like an hour and a half. Like about as far away as you live from Nerd Wonder. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sherman is like close and far at the same time because it's like
Oh.
the county is like right up there. What do you think?
This is what Dillard
Oh, that's
put
cool.
up, so I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's like a crescent moon. I guess that's
Yeah.
already there.
I guess, yeah.
That's neat.
But yeah, it's like it's up by the border. But like the city isn't quite by the border. The county touches it, so it's a border county. So the city of Sherman's a little bit closer than being right up on the Oklahoma border.
Oh, okay.
But we're not that far, so that's like an hour and a half drive to get from the border to here.
She never got her soup. You were supposed to bring me soup. I was the
Yeah,
one who
not
was sick.
not the other way around. Yeah.
But then I guess I said something about bringing. I don't know. It's an ongoing joke.
Yeah, lived Texas as a teen. Well, I mean, you've lived in Texas before too, down in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Lived in Austin for almost exactly 13 months.
Yeah.
I moved in about 6 months before the .com bubble.
Well,
burst.
there's also another reason why, like, I even changed, like, oh, wait, the Spring Creek is right there next to my original recommendation, because you're asking, like, what we should go eat.
yeah.
And I was thinking, like, well, I mean, you're going to Arizona. You can have good Mexican food anytime, right? They're right there in Arizona as well. It's next to the border, plenty of people. But, like, how often do you get Texas barbecue, right? Like,
She says I'm blind.
You're blind.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you can't bring me soup, does it? I guess it does, apparently.
Because I know me. Even if I left Texas for only a year and came back, like, I don't eat it that often because I live here.
Yeah.
But if I left and came back, like, the very first thing I'd want was Texas barbecue. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, when I lived here, I definitely remember the brisket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Spring Creek's got a good one. It's probably just get a couple brisket sandwiches. Like, oh, it's great.
All right.
They've got a good barbecue sauce, too. It's very sweet. It's almost like a... Have you ever had, like, Dickie's barbecue sauce before? And it's like a very, very sweet sauce?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of like that. It's it's like a Sweet Baby Ray's almost, but it's a very liquidy sauce, almost like you can paint it onto stuff. It's really good. It's their own thing. I think it's better than either of the two I just mentioned, but yeah, that's any good barbecue place has their own sauce that they make. So yeah.
So that's what we're doing after the show.
Yeah, we're gonna go get barbecue.
And everybody's invited if they can make it here.
Yeah, within the it's a 1.7 mile drive, so I don't think anybody's gonna actually beat us.
Oh,
there.
well.
Takes like 2 minutes to get over there. Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, Arizona has lots of Mexican food. And also remarkably good Italian food. If you can, like, at least there's one restaurant near where I used to live that has really good calzones.
Buck says, I could be there in a day and a half. Yeah, Minnesota's pretty far away. We also got 100 messages, yeah. You guys are making me hungry. We should. It's like dinner time.
Do we have any other stories, or
no, that was it for the story. I was just gonna
Yeah.
BS until we hit the hour and a half mark, or at 1:21. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, most of it is like, again, I was rushing to even find stuff because I didn't know what the schedule was. Things were running late and stuff like that, and we were.
I naively thought I could get here at 4:00. I would have had to leave at like 6 a.m. to do that. As it turns out, I didn't quite make it, but
yeah, it's a pretty long drive.
yeah.
We weren't sure if you were already in the area or not, like when you would have gotten here.
Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't end up having to go across 20 because that thing was backed up both ways.
Google Maps redirected me. So
good.
At some point, it said there are accidents on Highway 20.
Yeah, there was like 6 or 7 or something like that. It was like
yeah.
crazy.
They're like, you should get off the highway right now. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they were stuck in traffic earlier.
Yeah. I drove through a really nice neighborhood to get here, by the way. I don't know if I'd have to look up the route I took, but there was huge brick houses. And
there's a lot of those around here, yeah.
Yeah, I went over a bridge that was really nice.
Yeah.
Did you go over a big bridge of water, like a big lake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably through the Joe Pool Lake area or something like that.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up, but
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I'd love to have a house here. This place is nice. It's beautiful. It was kind of like a greenway or a parkway with a lot of grass and
There's
huge
plenty of
houses.
nice areas around here.
Yeah.
It's good Italian food here too. But it's an international center, so like I don't know, DFW I think is actually slowly turning into the new New York City. I don't know, for better or for worse. But like a lot of people, even since we were young, have been like flocking here, migrating to escape. It's just become like a trade center. That's actually one of the reasons we're here, because my parents, and even technically me, but I don't count it, came from New Jersey, right across from the harbor for New York. But I've been here since I was 1.5, so it's like I don't count that. I've been up to visit family enough times, but I'm a Texan. I've been here my whole life. But yeah, they were escaping. This just was a better place to raise kids. Both my brothers were born here, and so many other people that we've just met. It's like, oh yeah, I came from there, came from there, came from there. And then we're getting people from all over the world, like Arlington, down Cooper. It's just nothing but Asian and both East and Western Asian, so like Middle Eastern people. Restaurants just up and down, ran by people who immigrated there. Like they're actually ran by people who like learned how to cook this stuff from their parents or whatever, and They
Yeah.
just opened a restaurant when they came here because that's what everybody does. It's like, I don't know what to do. It's either drive a cab or open a restaurant. Yeah.
Well, Fanta is asking how long I will be in Texas for 1 day.
Yep. Just the day.
I'm going to stay the night, and then tomorrow I'm heading towards, well, I'll be heading towards New Mexico and then Arizona. So
Yeah. But it's a nice time
just driving
to
through.
stop by, and actually the first time we've ever met in person,
Yeah.
so it was a perfect opportunity for that. I know there was an opportunity that almost came up when you were coming through. I think, was it for Matsuri or something like that? There's something you were doing. No, I think you were.
Well, I did go to Matsuri.
Yeah, that wasn't the time. I think it was. You stopped here when you were going for a court appointment or something in Arizona. Right, yeah,
Oh.
like you had a delay, and there was like an
Oh,
hour
yes.
opportunity we could have met, but
I
it
was
just
at the-
wasn't
yeah.
lining up or anything. So
I was just at the airport. Yeah, I think like my plane ended up getting delayed. Like,
yeah,
did I end up? No, I slept at a. Did I sleep at a hotel or at the airport? I don't know, but I had to sleep,
Yeah, yeah.
I had to stay the night. But it just, yeah, that's right.
yeah, we
I
talked
did-
about
I
it.
did
And
stay at a
the
hotel.
time just did not line up or
Yeah,
anything like that.
unfortunately, you're not very close to the airport.
No.
So.
I used to live closer.
Yeah.
If this was like years ago, but we've been all over
Yeah.
the Metroplex. Like, you know, we're not
That
very stationary.
that case got dismissed, by the way.
No, that's good. I mean, we've talked about it too. I just forget. It's been a while, but yeah.
That was a bullshit charge.
Yeah.
I no longer have a record.
Let's see.
Or I never
Rick
really
said,
did.
you get my Discord DM? I probably did, and forgot about it because I've been running around trying to get schedule and stuff going. Let me.
I think you have a bigger monitor than I do.
It's 24.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's huge. I think I have
Oh yeah, I see. This is a
21.
drive thing. I'll try to keep a mental note to look at it again.
Yeah, that's a nice monitor.
Yeah.
Rick is here.
Yeah. See, at least you guys get to meet and spend time with each other. That's awesome. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We've only been talking to each other online for like what? 2018 is probably when we started loosely talking.
Yeah,
probably
except-
around 2020 is when we were talking more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I always got you confused with that other guy,
That other guy.
the artist. His name starts with an M. He used to do like lessons.
Lessons like in the Cult of
Like,
Raven.
Yeah, like
Model?
model.
A lot of
yes.
people used to get it. Our voices aren't that, especially
Well,
like
it's just your name.
Well,
That
the
was the
name,
only
but
reason.
also so like most of the time
Yeah.
I don't sound quite loud, but sometimes
Yeah.
when I get more hoarse, my voice sounds closer
Yeah.
because he's got a kind of a craggly voice
Yeah.
by comparison. So like it could be very confusing, but yeah.
Model 316, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it
would
was just
say.
it was just the name, and I didn't know either of you guys very well. So
Yeah.
it's just like
So like
metal,
in
model,
chats and
model,
stuff,
metal.
we've been loosely talking since probably around 2018.
Yeah.
But we've been in calls more regularly since 2020, and you've been hosting the show with me since I think 2021 or close to it. Whenever my other co-host came off.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years now, and it's cool to actually finally get to meet in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we'll go to Anime Matsuri this year.
Yeah. If things line up, I would definitely like to. I was planning on it last time, but it was not in the cards. Yeah. But I mean, it sounded so good, and I've been looking for a convention to go to.
Unfortunately, were you in the chat with where we were talking about the dates?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because that was the group
It's-
chat. It's the same
yeah.
time as QuakeCon.
Yeah,
yeah.
the exact same dates. So we'll have to choose QuakeCon or Matsuri.
Yeah. Honestly, I would probably choose Matsuri, even though QuakeCon is free. It seems to still be free, according to what Nerd Wonder was saying. But we
Yeah.
had read before that they weren't doing free general admission anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But Backlash, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed it. He's like, hey, listen, if we can't get enough people to show
Yeah.
up, we might as well just do free general admission.
Yeah.
But like, I've been to QuakeCon a few times. The last couple times I went, it just wasn't as good as it used to be. Matsuri just sounds like a more fun time to do if it's in the card. So basically what I'm going to do is, if it lines up financially, I'll go to Matsuri. If not, I'll just go hang out with people at QuakeCon. Yeah.
Eagle asks, "What is the weirdest thing I've built in the new Zelda game. I haven't gotten very far.
Yeah.
So I tried to build a flying machine where I put like one of those wings on top of like a cart.
Yeah.
Put some fans, but then it didn't end up flying. It just like fell.
Yeah.
So it didn't really work. So I think I'll keep working on it. I'll let you know, Eagle.
Yeah. And with that, we hit our 1:30. So that's the end of the show.
Nerd Wonder will be on Chill Time on Tuesday.
Oh, that's cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, Metal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for being on the show that you're normally on anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy the show, please share it out with somebody else. I know at least Dillard already did share it earlier. And if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/Vomitorium Live. Really helps us out, especially with the fact that we're moving soon, so any extra bit helps. And we'll see you guys in the next episode, whenever that lines up. I think, are you going to be good on Wednesday? Or
Yeah, I'll be in a hotel, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.